April of 2010, an oil rig exploded in the Gulf of Mexico, about 110 miles off coast, and released over 280 million gallons of crude oil into the Gulf of Mexico.
The well blowout produced about 50,000 barrels of oil a day. Dispersants were applied to it, and for 87 days, it spread throughout the northern Gulf of Mexico, exposing thousands of responders, fishermen, and coastal residents.
For me, it was a total hell. I've seen water that was surrounded by oil. I still see it. I still see it. I see oil everywhere I look.
There were oil slicks in the sand. As it washed ashore, it created tar balls, which the workers were trying to remove.
When I would get up and get ready to go to work, I could feel the chemicals in the air.
I was a vessel opportunity worker on the oil spill. And what we did was corral the oil, and we picked it up out of the Gulf. And we did that for going on 6 months. We did that.
My job is to clean the boom, repair the boom, and scrub the boots of the beach workers and maintain the decontamination station on the beach.
We're scientific divers. We went out in the Gulf of Mexico to observe the effects that the oil and dispersants had on coral reef organisms that live on offshore oil and gas platforms.
After diving in May and June of 2010, I started getting a skin rash. Then the more I dove in it, it was almost like I had a cold or a flu that would last for several days afterwards.
I was experiencing headaches, nausea, chronic ear infection, chronic dermatitis. I also had cognitive problems, memory loss, difficulty with my day-to-day calculations and writing.
One day I had about 12 or 15 people show up at my office. They all had problems that were very directly related to the oil spill. What became apparent pretty soon was that people from Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas were all affected by this. And the symptoms were all very bizarre, and they were almost identical symptoms that they were experiencing.
The first effects were, dizziness, started getting nauseated, in my stomach, just confused.
The biggest part that I had was headaches and nausea, dizziness. They started prescribing me medication for fatigue, for depression. I was on $7,000 of medication a month.
I went from being healthy as an ox and just losing 40 pounds in 4 months. Couldn't sleep at night, abdominal pain, unbearable. Being so paranoid, I wouldn't let the kids out of the house. Every doctor I've seen, they had something different. They had one of them that diagnosed me with paranoid schizophrenic as well as bipolar. It was sitting in the ER 2 or 3 hours at a time, just sitting there and being misdiagnosed. We stayed in the hospital all together a total of about 3 months.
I was able to understand quite a bit of this situation and make sense of it. The problem was, it was just nothing that worked in treatment. I was helping them, but it was Band-Aids on major hemorrhage, and it really wasn't getting the job done. Some of the symptoms were improving, but some of them were actually getting worse. And the things that were getting worse was scaring the life out of me, because I could see some of these people who were going to actually die if we didn't institute some treatment for them.
People here now know they've woken up and realized we're exposed, we're sick, and the lid's off. And with that comes this dire request for LRH technology, effective LRH technology, to come here and actually solve the problem. And the power of the IS stepped up and actually answered the call for Dr. Robichaux and for the cleanup workers and established the Gulf Coast Detoxification Project.
Mr. Woodworth came forth with the L. Ron Hubbard method of detoxification, and we looked into it and read on it a bit, reviewed some history of the people in New York who had an absolutely remarkable result from it, and realized that this was a real deal. I'm a skeptic, I'm a show me guy, and I felt like I'd really found something that was in all likelihood going to be effective, and proved to be wonderful. It certainly has taken me from a period of utter frustration and sleepless nights to a period where I'm really looking forward to every day coming out here visiting with the patients and sitting in the sauna with them and listening to their stories. And we've had some absolutely remarkable successes to date.
Going through the program was I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing either. You know, it was a regimen of you had to, dedicate a lot of time, but I just stuck with the program because I knew it was something natural, the sweating, the vitamin intake, and it was something that besides shut up in a bottle.
Within the first week, going into the second week, I could see the results. I could see that I was more at ease, having a clear mind, an understanding, a better feeling about my health.
They said you'll know the end when it gets there. Well, leading up to it, I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But one day, hey, I felt better. The queasiness has gone away. Don't have the muscle cramps. Don't have the headaches.
I am seeing that I'm able to write better. I'm able to perform my work quicker.
When I came down here, I used to wear eyeglasses, prescription eyeglasses. Now I can see where I don't even need to wear them as often as I did.
Biggest change for me would be the mental aspect. Paranoia has ceased, and a lot of symptoms that I had before I experienced after the detox. So now we're just coming together as a family again. We have the fulfilledness of where a family should be.
When I first started the program, I needed assistance just to walk on the property. And 36 days in, I was walking up to 36 minutes. Now I'm able to care for my 3.5-year-old little girl, where before I had so much chronic fatigue that I couldn't even play with her.
I had been training 5 days a week or more in jiu-jitsu up until we started diving. Every time I went to work out, I didn't feel like going into the gym. I didn't want to do anything, really. But now I feel like training again. And so that's a 180-degree turnaround from where I was.
Now that I've gotten my life back and a clear mind and more understanding on my health, now I can tackle these things that I've always wanted to do.
And this project has given me some energy to keep on working. Now we're back in the front lines, and we're going to be working on trying to express to the rest of the country what's exactly happening down in the Gulf of Mexico.
I recently had the opportunity to visit with Dr. Robichaud and the Detox Center, and what I saw there was quite impressive. I've seen and witnessed firsthand that this system does work, and we sincerely thank the IAS for the support, and we would hope that your continued support would be forthcoming in the future.
I'd like to thank IAS for their generosity with assisting me with this program.
I would like to thank the IAS for being so very generous to people that you don't even know. It's unbelievable.
Thank you, IAS, for giving me my life back. It's like giving me another chance.
Really, I'd like to say we love you guys. We love y'all very much for what you've done, because y'all have shown love to us. And if there's anything ever that I can do, 24 hours a day I'm available to extend my hand back out, because I feel better now. I feel like I can do that.
I'd like to thank the IAS and, Scientology itself. Scientology to me is based on the belief of helping other people. That's what I feel that's what it's based on, is that there's people out there that's going to donate time, money, effort, whatever it takes to benefit. And Scientology's done that through the Gulf Coast Detox.
The IAS has made all of this possible, and we would not be able to treat these people, and I would be still a very frustrated young man if it weren't for their assistance. It's been one of the nicest things that I've experienced in my lifetime.